morning and welcome to Wednesday's Talking Reds. I'm here with my mate Craig.
Yeah.
What about you?
I'm good. It's good to be back.
Well, there was a lot of fun and games in yesterday's show, and we're going to get onto that a little bit later.
Oh, brilliant.
Don't worry, I'm not letting you get away with that. We're here in the bowels of the Anfield Wrap in our brand new studio. I always feel like a newsreader. I feel like I should be shuffling some papers or doing something. But yeah, as you probably are aware out there, there's been some breaking news that's happened over the last 24 hours that's got a lot of people kind of excited. And it's about a goalkeeper. It's about a very tall, handsome man named Alisson. That's one L, two S's.
I think it's taken me sort of over the course of the past 6 months of us being, there being talk that we're in for them to finally get it right every time and not write Alisson like you'd normally would, isn't it?
No, well, when the actual actress Alison Becker got involved and tweeted out that she's going to be joining Liverpool, I thought that would be the end of it, but no. So the serious news is that Liverpool have, as has been widely reported, made a bid of £62 million for Alisson from Roma, and I personally could not be more delighted because all we have been told for the last, I'd say at least month, is that he was too rich for our blood. Liverpool aren't going to spend that much on a goalkeeper, and the rehabilitation of Karius, or the attempted rehabilitation of Karius, was beginning to really potentially derail our whole season. So to see that whatever's happened in the last month to say, well, no, this is now important enough, we now have to pay that money, can only be a good thing, right?
I think so. I think, looking back on the mistake that Karius made in pre-season recently at Tranmere, that might end up being the best thing to happen us in this pre-season, and that doesn't feel nice to say, but I think the first thing that'll excite me about Alisson is that he's not Karius to begin with, and I don't mean that as a personal attack to Karius. It's the fact that it feels like for the first time in years this whole fan base are united, but behind the one cause, which is Jurgen Klopp and this team, and Karius is that one part of it that's dividing people and that's proven divisive. And I think if he had have started if he'd started the new season as number one, the first mistake and everyone's divided. Should we keep Karius? Do you stick by Karius? Do you berate him? Do you do this? And I just didn't want that to happen. And I got so excited yesterday when I saw the news, especially because this is a goalkeeper that'll become the most expensive in history. It's a goalkeeper that Real Madrid have wanted, that Chelsea want and have looked at, and so it's I don't care what people say about his performances in the World Cup, or look at his performances in the World Cup. He didn't actually have that much to do, did he? Because of how well Brazil managed to defend.
He kept 3 clean sheets, by the way, out of 5 games. You probably mentioned that as well.
I've been watching the videos of Alisson over the past season and just getting so excited by him because it's there's the talk of what he does with his feet and how the main stand will be able to cope with that, and how he's doing little flicks and taking on lads, and how high up the pitch he plays, but it's not that, it's the amount of saves, and it's just the kind of saves he's making saves in those videos ones that he shouldn't, or you think, God, how did he do that? And that's not something a Liverpool goalkeeper's done in a while.
No, he ticks all of the relevant goalie boxes, like you say. It's not just the ones that he should make, it's the ones that he shouldn't make. It's the ones where he's had nothing to do for 40 minutes, then pulls off a blinder. And because of the way we counter-attack, because of the riches at the other end of this team, him being able to be so adept with his feet. There's a really good thread on the stats. I'm not going to go into them now, but there's a really good thread on Twitter by a lad called LFC Torres. Bless him. And he really breaks it down in terms of the comparison with Ederson, in particular, his counterpart, because he's the one who we're kind of looking to. In the same way that City were able to solve it in one swoop, their goalie issues, we're hoping to do the same. But we should probably point out there are other clubs in for him, specifically Chelsea. And I've seen a lot of people rather nervous looking over to West London thinking, oh, they're going to come in and gazump us again. But should we be? Really? I've seen lots of people say, oh yes, there's the London thing. But the London is all well and good if you're in the Europa League. We're in the Champions League. They're not in the Champions League. They are probably going to be selling Eden Hazard over the course of the summer. So they're losing some of their best players. And then people say, oh, but they've got Brazilians in Willian, they've got former Roma players in Emerson, they've got this, they've got that. Well, maybe we should speak to Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain or Virgil van Dijk about whether you want to play for Chelsea or whether you want to play for Liverpool.
And I think as well, like, have you been in Liverpool? If anyone hasn't been in Liverpool, it's a fucking belter city. So I'm not having this like, oh, London, they'll all go to London. I think, look, Liverpool for the first time in years now are a more attractive opposition than Chelsea are, and that's the manager, it's the direction that the club are going in, and it's the fact that we're in the Champions League again. So it doesn't worry me in that regard, and I think that, you know, Alisson knows how much we've wanted him for a while, and there was all of the talk of no, Liverpool won't go in for him, the interest is cooled, Karius is going to keep his place, all of that. And I just think a lot of what we've seen and heard over the past sort of 5 months have been negotiation tactics, and have been this like sort of to and fro between Liverpool and Roma, and yeah, exactly. That's exactly what these transfers are. It's two clubs, and it's the both sides of the media doing a little dance. We've seen it before with Van Dijk, we've seen it with Keita. And we're seeing it with Alisson again, and you know, hopefully it looks like I've seen a few tweets from Italian media just saying that, you know, they're close to agreeing a fee, and you know, you think that the moment that they get that done, then, well, it looks like, you know, Alisson's it's come out that Alisson finds Liverpool an attractive offer and wants to play for them. So hopefully Liverpool get their man, and like, you know, what a beginning to the summer it'll be in terms of, we've already got Fabinho, Kate has already come in from the deal we made last year. You get Alisson. These are players that are up here. These are we're shopping that elite bracket now, aren't we? Exactly. It's no longer we're chasing a Mkhitaryan or someone as that one marquee sign and a Willian and being let down and then having to go for plan B, C and D. It's now, you know, we're looking at Fabinho and Monaco's best player. We're looking at Keita and one of the best players in the Bundesliga, and we're looking at Alisson, one of the best players in Serie A last year, and the most expensive goalkeeper in the world, to play alongside the most expensive defender in the world. So this team means business, and this club means business now, and it feels good to be able to say that. And just last thing that from me is that I listened to we did a James Horncastle special yesterday. We spoke to him. He's a Serie A expert journalist, and if you're not sitting with your top off holding pyro after reading that, then I don't know what you're doing wrong. Gibbo who spoke to him on the phone, came up and he was like just visibly excited and buzzing by what he'd heard.
I should probably point out that James Horncastle was a Roma fan as well, so he's going to have seen him a lot more than a lot of other people, and like you say, he was basically saying it's the best that we could get, because there was a lot of talk between him and Jan Oblak from Atletico Madrid, but I just think that the work that we put in has paid off again. It looks like it's paid off. I should probably point out it's still not confirmed. There was an update from Mel this morning though that said that we are ahead of Chelsea in the queue, and I trust what that lady says, so I'm choosing to be happy about it. Now, something that has been confirmed that we definitely can be happy about is that Rhian Brewster finally signed a 5-year contract with Liverpool yesterday, and he, unlike the likes of Harry Wilson and Taiwo Adeyemi, who have also signed new deals recently, he's not going on loan. Now, I watched the interview with him on LFC TV, and it's a really good watch. It's like 10 minutes long. And a lot of the time in these interviews, like, for example, I watched the Shaqiri one, and it's when the guy asks his question, you can pretty much predict what he's going to say. But I like the fact that Rhian Brewster was really thinking about it. He was really taking care to be considered in his answers. And he really believes that this season is going to be his season. Now, I don't know how much you've seen of him, Craig, but I've seen quite a bit of him, particularly in the finishing area. And I'll tell you, if he's able to translate that physically into the Premier League, then we could have another gem on our hands.
Yeah, like the club seem to be doing everything to keep him, and I think when you hear people, the likes of Gibbo, who watch the academy matches on a regular basis and used to do our academy show on Top Player, he'd always talk about a player like Rhian Brewster in the same breath as he would have with Trent, someone like Trent, and I think that's how highly he's regarded within the club, and the very fact that he's going to be fighting to, as a deputy, I suppose, Roberto Firmino when he comes back from injury, just goes to show you how much talent they believe he has, and B, that they believe he has the mentality to step up. And I think we've seen what he's done at the youth international level with England. That got me very excited. That was one of the first times I'd properly watched him and watched his goals. The hat-trick against Brazil was quite something, and it's just exciting that we've got these players coming through, and we've got a manager that's going to allow them to flourish, and he believes in them to be able to give them a chance in the first team.
Oh, 100%. I mean, if you look down the line at all the different things that Jurgen Klopp has done to convince Rhian and his father that this is the place for him to be, and I mean, I'm not just talking about inviting him down to the Football Writers Awards with Mo Salah, but he's been talking about him as if to say, this kid's going to save me money. And when you compare it to the fact that he's been very non-committal regarding Danny Ings, regarding Daniel Sturridge, regarding Origi, and it looks like all three of those may not be in the starting lineup or in the starting squad this season if rumours to be announced. But this kid, he really will be, despite the fact that he said in this interview he doesn't think he'll be fit till Christmas. Now, I also want to do a little shout out to Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, because in this interview he also mentioned how close they have been together while they've been doing their rehabbing, and it's just another feather in that lad's cap. And I love his attitude, and I love the fact that he's out there trying to influence our other future players as well. So shout out to Chambo.
Definitely, I think that's something that comes through from everyone at the club with regards to Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. I think we all fell in love with him a little bit over the past 6 months in terms of what he did in the second half of the season when he was given his chance, and he just seems like a brilliant lad, doesn't he? And someone that just, especially for Rhian Brewster, Rhian Brewster will look up to Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain as well, and the fact that they're helping each other through rehabilitation. I remember when Danny Ings was injured, and he spoke about him and Gomez together, and get them bouncing off each other and working their way through the rehabilitation together, and because it can become a lonely process for these footballers, so that's brilliant. But look, last thing on Rhian Brewster really is that we've seen through different parts that what sort of mentality and the bravery that he has, especially to speak out about the racism as well. That takes guts, and Jurgen Klopp's spoken about how not just as a footballer how highly he regards him, but as a person, that he was able to come out and do this, and the way he speaks, and that bodes well for his future at Liverpool, not just on the pitch but off it. And he can do a lot worse than learn some from Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain as well.
Definitely. And the point about the whole racism racism complaints is really good, because when you watch his interview when he's talking about that, you can see in his eyes that there was more than lip service from the club. We really backed him on that. We went with him all the way. And those are the kind of things that when it comes to the crunch, when his father is trying to decide if this is the best place for his young man to grow up, and when you think about the potential pitfalls of young players, maybe he doesn't start great, maybe he has an injury, maybe he's got hardship to come over. If he can see exactly how much commitment we have to him, then it's going to make him feel comfortable, and hopefully that's going to allow him to develop at the right rate.
Definitely, and at a time whenever it's becoming a little bit of a trend that young English footballers move abroad. I know it was talked about that he would go to Mönchengladbach, or they were in for him, and look at someone
very heavily around
exactly him. And I know the club weren't too happy about that, but if you look at someone like Jadon Sancho, who decided to jump ship at Man City and go to Dortmund, and he's just been given a chance and he's flourished within the league now. And young players like Rhian Brewster will be looking at him and thinking, that could be me. I believe in myself, so maybe I move somewhere that I'm going to be given an opportunity. And Liverpool have obviously said to him, look, don't go anywhere, because lad, you're going to get your opportunity here, and what better place to be given that opportunity.
Exactly. And I mean, I know we all like to play fantasy football at this time of year, and I mean, Liverpool Twitter has been in full force over the last 24 hours. We've had the full gamut. We've had the playing trackers, we've had the people looking at who someone else is following, we've had the works, and so you kind of get yourself in a mind of thinking it's all about who's coming in, all about the next, the new, the whatever. But sometimes they can be from within. And if you get one of those and you can grow them yourself, it actually saves you a bit of money. Because obviously with the higher price for Alisson that we'll be paying, the potential high price for Nabil Fekir that people still want us to be paying, people are starting to wonder, well, what does that mean? Are we going to be able to not buy another striker or what have you, or this or that? But sometimes you've got to really judge what you've got before you start looking elsewhere, and I'm glad we've got a manager who does that. I don't know about you guys.
No, definitely. I think that's all positive, and I think that, you know, someone like Rhian Brewster, I think there's something more exciting about a young player coming through the academy as well. You know, the likes of Trent, it's exciting to see him do what he's been doing now because he's come through our academy and he's from this city. But you know, Rhian Brewster I'll be excited in the new year to see what he's capable of in Liverpool top and see how many times he manages to play threads and how he does. So yeah, it's exciting times.
It is exciting times. Now, there may have even been a development in some of these stories while we've been on the air, so I would keep checking your Twitter feeds for all that. I did want to bring something up that came up yesterday, and now some of you who were watching would have realised that this lad here had a bit of a struggle when it came to pronouncing a certain name. For anyone who didn't watch yesterday, do you want to give it another crack?
Monchi. Although there were a couple of people on social media saying that I got it right, and I'm going to choose to believe those two people on social media rather than the rest of you.
Well,
so.
See, this is I want to help you out here, man. I know you have a tough time in the office right here, so I wanted to help you out. So any of our actual Spanish viewers out there, if you want to put in the comments whether Craig was right, whether the Monchi is right, or whatever, so we can kind of end this one once and for all. But I do have some help for you, because you know Monchi's not the name on his passport, right? You know it's his nickname.
So what's his name on his passport?
Ramon Verdejo.
I might just stick with Monchi, to be honest.
Okay, well, it's there if you want it, you know. Yes,
thanks, Mo.
It's on the table.
Some proper research there. Let's stick with Monchi.
Well, you know, I'm trying to help you out here, man. Now, I know that on tomorrow's show there's a high chance that Robbo's going to go into detail regarding the member sale, which has happened over the last couple of days, and the season ticket sales. I wasn't in it this year myself, so I managed to avoid that dainty dance, but I believe it is important to a lot of you out there, so we will be covering it, just not today. Now, there are some shows that are coming out today, which we are going to cover. As you can probably guess, there's going to be a gutter today. And
I'm excited for that one, actually. It feels like there should have been one yesterday, but we do it every other day, pretty much, 3 times a week. And we did do the couple of specials from yesterday, the Neil Jones and the Horncastle. We're doing more of those. But yeah, the gutter, it just feels like a shame that Rob Gutman's gone on holidays just as we signed the whole world.
I think that this is more evidence that they actually watch our show, because they know how funny it would be that he's now stranded. He's going to be looking at toilets, checking the acoustics of toilets all around his hotel, trying to work out where he's going to be delivering his sermon from. But I'm sure we'll be hearing from him if anything breaks. But yeah, the two of us are going to be doing a gutter show along with... are you on it as well, Sean?
I think there's I think Paula Murphy's on it,
yes.
Neil Atkinson and Mike Nevin possibly. I think so, yeah. Yeah, some of the big hitters there. We're also going to be trying to work, well, we are going to do them, but we're working on them at the moment, is getting a couple more specials on Alisson. So getting the view from journalists in Italy, hopefully a Roma fan as well, and there's another one I've forgotten. But so we're getting a few of those put together. So yeah, look out for them as well.
One last thing I would say on Alisson, which we didn't mention. If you are going to be assessing him, or you are looking out there thinking 62 million's a lot for a goalkeeper, is he really going to be any good? Don't judge him on the 7 games you've seen against Liverpool and the World Cup. Judge him a little bit further than that, people. Please. If I have to see someone more saying, oh, well, we scored 7 against him, he can't be that good. Watch the goals. We scored some awesome goals in that game. But anyway, I fully digress. I'm not going to go into that right now.
Last thing as well, we've got tickets on sale for our live shows. So we've got 2 in Ireland, we've got 3 in the US. Just theanfieldwrap.com/TAW live.
Thanks, man.
Marketing.
No, seriously, you saved me, because I was about to start cracking my fingers and going to full-on rant mode. But today we're going to be short, we're going to be sweet, we're going to give you the news you want, and then we leave you wanting more. Robbo will be here tomorrow. Up the Reds.